This morning on another network I will not mention, CNN, Donald Trump said that a contested convention would be super awesome.
I think we'll win before getting to the convention, but I can tell you, if we didn't, and if we're 20 votes short, or if we're 100 short, and we're at 1,100 and somebody else is at 500 or 400, because we're way ahead of everybody, I don't think you can say that we don't get it automatically. I think you'd have riots.
I must have misheard. He said there will be riots. Twice. Now, maybe he didn't mean it, or maybe he did. It probably doesn't matter. But we should be consistent. After all, if we bash radicals for inciting unrest if their demands aren't met, we should probably do that here. But I am not worried. Who would Trump supporters riot against? I can't see them destroying businesses because either they work in them or they own them. They don't tip over cop cars or heave rocks at fire trucks because they're likely to be cops or firemen themselves. They will never throw a chair through a window because that chair cost them $75 at Crate and Barrel. Law-abiding people abide by laws. They aren't Occupy Wall Street, they occupy Main Street. But what of the candidate? That kindler, gentler one we keep hearing about. Trump's comment reveals that he's aware that he has a faithful army, and it must feel really good knowing these people are there and willing to fight for you and stick by you even if you shoot someone on Fifth Avenue. But being an actual leader means not abusing power, but humbly respecting it. Suggesting lawlessness, even offhand, in response to a lawful but unpopular event isn't very presidential. And even though a movement can indeed feel really exciting, we must not shed our scruples in service of a phenomenon. America already did that once in 2008. All right, Juan. Will there be riots if there is a contested convention? Yes or no? I'm doing my McLaughlin report.
Is that
yes or no?
I would say no.
Wrong. 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 There will be riots.
There will be riots? Okay.
No, if that happens, I mean, there will be anger, but there won't be riots, will there?
I don't know. Look, what we saw last Friday looked like riotous.
But that was between two different factions, protesters.
But that's what's going on.
No,
there's going to be two different factions of Republicans.
No.
Republicans rioting against Republicans, they're going to be throwing their golf bags at each other.
You know that they bought riot gear? The Cleveland police have bought riot gear now?
Really?
Yeah, just last week. I saw that.
But that wasn't because of an intra-party
No,
fight.
they're afraid of the liberals, right? They're afraid of the liberals.
Well,
I see. Always blame the liberals. But let me just tell you, Trump is not calling on liberals to riot. He's calling on his supporters.
He's not saying riot.
On anyone. No, he didn't call on anyone to riot.
Oh,
he said,
no.
I think there could be riots.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who would do such a thing.
Well,
I don't know.
First of all, for the record, I don't think there's not going to be a contested convention. I just don't think it's going to come down to the math. After last night, when Rubio got out after a thorough thumping of the field last night by Trump, the delegate math goes very, very strongly in his favor for him to earn at least the 1237, if not more. Even if you just take what he's done in the past, take it forward. Sure.
Let me interrupt. Let me just tell one of Dana's corny jokes. But this is, since it's Thursday, let's imagine it's Thursday and Throwback Thursday. What's black, white, and red all over? It's a newspaper.
Right.
And so in today's Wall Street Journal, the headline was something to this effect. Hard for Trump to clinch nomination before convention. He'd have to win half of the remaining delegates. They don't see that's possible.
No, but here's the deal. Okay, I love the Wall Street Journal. I love the Wall Street Journal, and they're part of the company. I get it, but they're completely wrong on this one.
Okay.
48% of the delegates have been won by Trump already, but he's won 65% of the contests. Why does that matter? Because going forward, there are 11 winner-take-all or winner-take-most, and there are only 6 proportional. So the delegates are heavily weighted to winner-take-all and winner-take-most. And if you just do the math with Rubio already in and 17 others in and apply it forward, he gets to 1,300. If you take Rubio out of the math, he gets even higher than 1,300. So, but no one's, they want to look at it that way in their defense.
Do you think, though, Danny, do you think it's important, I mean, that Trump measure his words as he becomes more and more likely the nominee, and the fact that it only takes one nut to listen to him and do something stupid? It wouldn't be his fault, but, we're having this discontent in other areas. Should he be more careful?
Well, I don't think that this morning, I don't think he was suggesting that there should be a riot. I think that he was just saying, like, what could possibly happen? And because there hasn't been a contested convention in so long, nobody knows what it would be like. And I think if there were to be a contested convention, it will be a big fight, and it will be ads and social media and tactics and strategy, unlike anything we have ever seen.
Will we be doing midnight shows?
Oh.
I hope so, because I mean, I was on
yes,
fire.
That's right.
We are going to be there,
I was on
right?
fire last night.
Right? You're on fire?
Yeah, I mean, I was so awake. It was amazing.
We're going to be at the RNC.
But I do think then also, let's say that if Eric's correct then on the math, then this conversation is moot. If it does go to a contested convention, and then whoever is going to be in the lead at the time, if it comes down to these three, let's just say Cruz, Trump, and Kasich, then yes, all three leaders need to say, understand the passion. I think we have a good plan. Let's go in there and win this thing, and nobody needs to fight about it. I agree with you. I don't think the Republicans are going to have Republican on Republican actual violence.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
No, I mean, the khakis everywhere.
It'll be like a gas ad, right?
Let me ask you about the other protests.
Yeah.
There's these anti-Trump groups. They're threatening the largest civil disobedience action of the century. Of course, it's Democracy Spring. It looks like it's George Soros funded. There's a surprise. MoveOn.org, Institute for Policy Studies, Demos, or is it demonic? I'm not sure.
Right.
Should we be worried about this?
In there. Look, that's to be expected, right? Because they've already been trying to disenfranchise people who want to gather to listen to a candidate of their choice, showing up in Chicago, trying to shut down free speech. But, those are the liberals that are doing that, because anytime it's speech that they don't agree with, then they want to shut it down. So there's a whole double standard hypocrisy there. Let me just circle back really quick before we have to go about Donald Trump. Yeah, I don't think he's going to take it lightly, but also the people who are supporting him wouldn't want him to take it lightly. They would want him to stand up and be an advocate for himself, to say, listen, the people have spoken, the actual voters, not just delegates, the people have decided and have come out in record numbers to decide and have put a lot of support between, yes, Mr. Trump, behind Ted Cruz, absolutely. So, yeah, if I were Ted Cruz or I were Donald Trump and I had the most, votes going in there, I would expect to be able to receive the nomination from the party.
But you understand that there are rules. I mean, the rule is 1237.
I understand that, but I would also not expect for somebody who maybe won one state or no states to be able to go in and get appointed like we're in some kind of bizarre monarchy, because those are not the principles that the country was founded on.
No, nobody said monarchy. It's just the rules of a convention are you have to have a certain number of delegates in order to win the nomination.
Yeah, I get how it works.
And right now, we're making fun of, these liberal groups that might come in, and we're worried but not too worried about Trump calling for riots among his supporters. But the fact is there is a large segment of Republican voters who don't want Trump.
Mm-hmm. Do you know when the last time a candidate who wasn't leading going into a contested convention actually became the nominee?
Was it 1948?
1940.
Oh, 40.
76 years ago. I mean, our grandparents were kids at the time. I mean,
the rules haven't changed.
No, the rules are there, but not to listen to what Kimberly's saying here. Life's changed, too. The people want a voice, and the reason why Donald Trump has become such a thing, 48% of the vote, 65% of the states, is because people expect their voice to be heard. If they think they're voting for a candidate and it gets to the Rules Committee and it changes at the convention, the Rules Committee can change the game at the convention to pick whoever they want. If that happens, I agree. Donald Trump is probably right. There will be protests, and there will be a lot of protests.
But they're not changing the rules.
You
they're just
can't.
abiding by the current rules.
No.
Oh, you're saying
they
can
change the rules
Yes, they
at
could.
the convention.
But I'm saying the current rules are the rules.
But who's going to say? So why don't they change the rules and say, you know what? We don't need 1237 now. Now you need 1350, and it has to be a supermajority.
No, you're saying this would be an outlaw type behavior. I'm just saying if you're
how is it not outlaw if everyone knows if the people have voted for a candidate in an overwhelming plurality of states and delegates and votes, he's not the nominee.
Well, let me just say, things can change in a moment. Right now, we know, and we saw this last night, even as Trump was doing extremely well, Eric, most of the late deciders were going against him. Right? So we see that that's the voice of the people, too. The voice of Republican people.
I'm waiting to hear the first group of pundits who's been just trashing what's going on with the Trump organic grassroots to start walking them back, start softening the tone, to start saying, oh, well, you know, maybe, you know, it's going to happen anytime. And I think after last night, you're going to start hearing it right now.
And by the way,
clearly Juan's not one of them.
Ted Cruz is one of the top constitutional lawyers in the country. Would also, I think, be right there, standing by Cruz, or you know, or by Trump, or you know, standing up for himself if they were to try and deny constitutionally the ability to be able to go in and have those delegates. I mean,
don't you think Cruz is going to be contesting? He wants to win.
Cruz is in the same position as Donald Trump.
Well, can I?
Yes.
I want to move on to this.
One of the two of them will be the nominee.
This is Trump on Fox and Friends. He was talking about what would happen if there would be a third party. I think he's for it.
The third party will mean an absolute total victory for the Democrats. It will mean 4 or 5 very liberal judges, and the country will never be the same. You'll never recover. That'll be the end of the country as you know it. That'll be a disaster.
I have to look at these SOTs before I present them. Dana, what do you make of that?
Yeah. Just practically, for a third party to actually get on the ballot, I think you have to get some crazy number, like almost 100,000 signatures in 3 weeks from today. I mean, it's almost
unless you're trying to...
I just think it's a hypothetical that we don't need to worry about now, because I actually don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, unless you're trying to get somebody fired from like America's Got Talent, you will never get like 100,000 people to sign anything. And so petitions only work in the entertainment industry.
And Bloomberg said he's not running.
Yeah.
So and you'd have to find a way to self-fund, and it's just I think that it's a moot point as well.
Ooh, you've said moot point twice. I think you're working. I think you're working your way towards a banned phrase.
Just mute me.
That's M-U-T.
I'm kidding. I know it's spelled different.
According to this nomination poll, if Trump has the most delegates going to the Republican convention, but not enough to win a majority on the first ballot, do you think he should win the nomination? 53% said he should, and 42% said he shouldn't, and 5% said no opinion. That was an ABC poll. So there you go.
Well,
People have spoken.
They just got it up.
Yeah. All right.